Well, I wanted to let everyone know there's a recent study that came out of Netherlands, Australia, that's the topic of our conversation today. And it's honeybee venom contains a chemical that kills breast cancer cells in minutes, the study shows. And this is from Chris Malore. And it's very interesting because they're using hundreds of honeybees, and a new study reveals that the venom in these insect stingers quickly kills breast cancer cells. Dr. Claire Duffy says honeybee venom destroys multiple types of breast cancer, even the hard to treat triple negative variety. In her study, she said that it not only eradicates these cancers, but it breaks up the cancerous cell's ability to reproduce. It also contains a compound called melatonin, which researchers say help this natural remedy stop the disease with remarkable speed. The venom was extremely potent, said the researcher from the Harry Perkins Institute of Medical Research in a media release. We found that the melatonin can completely destroy cancer cell membranes within 60 minutes, folks. 60 minutes. Wow. That's amazing. In just 20 minutes, melatonin breaks down the chemical messages breast cancer cells transmit to trigger both cell growth and cell division. The compound suppresses the receptors that commonly overexpress themselves in triple negative breast cancer and HER2 enriched breast cancer. The venom also was tested against hormone receptor positive breast cancer cells and normal breast cells with a specifically concentrated dose of venom, and researchers are able to kill 100% of cancer cells. At the same time, the study finds that the bee venom does little harm to normal cells. It goes on to say this study demonstrates how melatonin interferes with signaling pathways within breast cancer cells to reduce cell replication, and it provides another wonderful example of where compounds in nature can be used to treat human diseases. That's from Professor Peter Klinkini from the University of Western Australia. So, do all bees carry this special venom? Well, although there are around 20,000 different species of bees, the study finds that not every insect can fight cancer. Dr. Duffy's tests on 312 honeybees and bumblebees from Perth, Western Australia, revealed that bumblebee venom does not induce cancer cell death. Honeybees from other regions, however, share the special ability to rapidly stop the disease. So she also found that European honeybee in Australia, Ireland, and England produced almost identical effects in the breast cancer compared to normal cells. Researchers add that the bees are some of the healthiest members of their species, and it finds the compound can be actually reproduced in labs. The synthetic product mirrored the majority of the anti-cancer effects of the honeybee venom, the Australian scientist adds. Now, they talked about adding it to chemo and things like that, the article goes on to say. But what I find amazing is that here we are again. Yahweh has created something that can help us take care of things within our bodies, natural things. And yet, let's see what we're doing to the honeybee population. We're killing them with the pesticides, the very thing that can help honey. Without the honeybee, it said society and the world will perish. And because of the pollination and because of so many other things. And now we have one more thing. The venom actually destroys cancer. Think about that, guys. Within 60 minutes, every breast cancer cell was gone, was dead. So why don't you guys jump in? It wasn't a big article, but I think this is amazing. It's amazing to know that this is out there because the medical community isn't going to let you know. And in fact, if they do find it, they're going to find a way to package it that's going to cost high dollar amounts that'll go in their pocket. So, that's a whole nother topic. But isn't that amazing? It in every case, in 100% of cases, it destroyed breast cancer within the breast cancer cells within 60 minutes. That is amazing. So anyway, what do you guys have anything you want to, I know it's not like a big commentary article, but.
No, I mean, what kind of response can you have short of, yeah, that's amazing. Let's get it implemented. When does the FDA approve this? Like last week, of course. They should have already approved this. And how many?
I don't want the FDA to get it. Well, I'm afraid the FDA up.
I know I'm being facetious. in the fact that it's not going to happen. And the cancer doctors are never going to say this is a good thing, because then they have to go into another area, because if this eradicates breast cancer, then they have they have to go somewhere else. They have to have some other thing that they do. So it's so sad that we live in a world that has to be like that, but we do live in a world that's like that. So unless we get that word out to people, then, and of course, once again, I'll be making a article out of this, so a video article out of this, and we can put this out there the best we can and title it the best we can. Be sure and send me the link to the article so I can get other people to see it, and we'll get the word out the best we can. Hopefully this goes viral and people realize that you can literally take care of breast cancer immediately. Baffle your doctors. If you have breast cancer, take this, do this, what you need to do. Go back to the doctor and don't say a word and watch his face.
Right. Well, yeah, but he'd still.
I don't know what else to say.
I know there's not really anything to say. To me, it's just amazing what God does. And we need to pray that people we can be able to seek these alternative treatments and not have, because chemotherapy kills, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but chemotherapy in itself, all it does, it might mimic or hide the cancer, but it spreads it. It will pop back up later. And I know I'm not a medical expert and don't use that, but I am completely against chemotherapy. And my mom did have radiation, but she chose not to do the chemo, and she's been cancer-free now. And breast cancer is what she was dealing with a few years ago. So, if we can find, God's created us to heal ourselves, and our environments are so everything is trying to mutate the cells and the DNA within us and create our bodies to not function as they're supposed to. And God still made a way. Anyway.
If they can find a way to make money at it, they'll do it.
That's true. That is true.
It's not the first time they've used a venom to make medicines. A lot of your, I think some of the blood clotting and the snake venom and blood pressure, they've used snake venom to develop drugs to treat illnesses. So, like the proteins from them and stuff, my son does the venomous snake deal, but they've even found evidence back in history that they've used it in ancient times for that. So it's interesting that they would turn to bee venom. I don't think anybody's thought of that, but venom, a lot of times, depending on what it does, is my understanding, which is very, very limited, but like it'll either break down your blood and cause you to make your blood very thin, where it doesn't clot, stuff like that. So it's just interesting that they use bee venom. That's amazing, and I guess it's acting like some venom does. It breaks down certain proteins or whatever proteins in the breast cancer cells or something.
Sure. Right, the membranes, yeah, absolutely, and it's good news for us. It's good news for us.
I don't know that I want snake venom injected. I might go along with bee venom.
Well, I want you to think of all the bee products that are out there that are so good for us. I'm actually surprised somebody didn't think of this before, because the bees are so beneficial to us and what they create. And so hallelujah that somebody had the wisdom to look at the bee venom towards this thing, and maybe maybe there'll be research out there for other cancers as well soon.
Sure.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.